multiplication with decimals. Another grade 1 topic for your GCSE Maths exam. So with this method then, I'm going to use the Chinese grid method, which I used in my previous video on just plain multiplication. I will do one later on, however, where I show you the column method, just so that you know the difference and also where to place your decimal point. So using the column, should I say the Chinese grid method, you want a 3x2 grid. 18.4 along the top and 2.6 along the side. It doesn't matter which way around you do your numbers, as long as you've either got a 2x3 or a 3x2. 4 times 2 then gets you your 8, and 4 times 6 gets you 24. 8 times 6 is 16, 1 times 2 is 2. 8 times 6 is 48, and then 1 times 6 is 6. Now, with my different colour, I'm just going to show you how to add up your columns again. So you've got 4, 8, 2 and 8 gets you 18, so you need to carry the 1. 0, 6, 4, 6 and 1 gets you 17, carry you 1 again. 1, 2 and 1 gets you your 4. Now the next part is really important, and that's where your decimal goes. So I'm going to use a highlighter for this. Just to kind of show you in a little more detail where it goes. So if you follow your decimal down the diagonal and across and then down to the diagonal, your decimal is going to go here. So again, you're looking at where do those decimals meet, and then you're going to go down, and that's going to be your answer. So for this, our answer would be 47.84. So if we go on to the next one then and we try that again, we're going to have the same grid. It's going to be a 3x1 grid. 3x2, should I say? Making sure those diagonals go from the top right to the bottom left. You're going to have 21.8 and 1.7. It's up to you if you do your decimal at the start or at the end. I can show you now at the start. You're looking at where those decimals meet, and then you're going to follow it down the diagonal. So the decimal will go here. Then you're going to fill your table out as normal. So 8 times 1, 1 times 1, 1 times 2, 8 times 7, 56, 1 times 7, and then 2 times 7, 14. So you're going to then add up 6, 8, 5 and 7, 20, 0, 1, 0, 4 and 2, which is 7, and then 3. So your answer for that one will be 37.06. I'm going to show you that exact same question now, but with the column method, just so that you can see both of the methods. And just rub this out at the top as well. So if we then go ahead and use our column method, we've got 21.8, 1.7. So we're going to use the exact same method that we used for just normal multiplication. So what you can actually do, if you feel more comfortable, is you can just write that as 218 and 17, just ignoring those decimals, and we'll come to the decimals at the end. So you're going to just times as normal. So you've got 7 times 8, which is 56, carry your 5. 7 times 1 is 7, add your 5 is 12, carry your 1. 7 times 2 is 14, add your 1 is 15. We're now going to add that placeholder of a 0. 1 times 8 is 8, 1 times 1 is 1, 1 times 2 is 2. We then need to add these. So we've got 6, 10, 7 and 3. Now here's the important part, is where does that decimal go? It's not as simple as just following it down and putting it straight underneath the decimal, because when we multiply with decimals, we are moving our place value. So instead what we're looking at is how many digits do we have after our decimal? Well, we've got 1 here and 1 here. So our decimal place needs to come 1, 2 into our answer, which will get us 37.06. So that's the two different methods on how to times with decimals. I'm going to rub that off now for you, and then we're going to go on to question 3. If you feel like pausing this and having a go, then do that and see if you get the same answer as me. So we're going to use our Chinese grid method. And this time we need a 2x2 grid. We've looked at 3x2. This time we've got a 2x2. So we've got 4.5 and 2.9. Now, it's up to you whether at this point you want to work out where your decimal goes or you want to do it after. I'm going to do it now. So I'm looking at where do those decimals meet, and then I need to follow it down that diagonal. So my decimal point would be here. 5 times 2 is 10. 4 times 2 is 8. 5 times 9 is 45. And 4 times 9 is 36. Now adding up those diagonals, we've got 5, 10, and 13. 13.05. Next one. We've got 1.7 times 3. So here's the important part with this one. Once we've filled it out, it's where that decimal is going. Because where would my decimal point go on the number 3? Well, the number 3 is just like writing 3.0. That's the same number. So my decimal point would come here. So when I'm looking at joining them up then, I'm looking at where they meet, and they in fact meet here at the bottom and go down the diagonal here. So my answer would be 5.1. The good thing with decimals is you can kind of think if they weren't there. If you had, for example, if you rounded 1.7 to, for example, 2, 2 times 3 is 6. So you know that your number is going to be somewhere near 6. If you, for example, put your decimal after the 1 and got 51, well, you know that 1 point something times 3 wouldn't be anywhere near 51. So sometimes you can use a process of elimination to work out if your answer is right or not. I'm just going to rub this out so we've got a little bit more space for this last one. And I'm going to show you this last one again using both methods, just because I think it'd be useful to see. So if I was to use the column method, I'm going to forget about that decimal being there. So I've got 5 times 2 gets me 10, carry my 1. 5 times 6 gets me 30, add my 1 is 31. 5 times 1 is 5, add your 3 is 8. Now, looking at those numbers after the decimal then, I only have one number after my decimal, so my decimal must come one place in. If I had 2, it'd come 2 places in, 3 places in, and so on. Trying that question then using our column method, Chinese grid method, I keep saying that, I do apologise. 16.2 times by 5, so we've got 10, 30 and 5, 0, 1 and 8. Looking then at my decimal and where they meet, well, if you think of the number 5, your decimal would be right at the bottom here. 16.2 is here. So if you're looking at where they meet, you would come down your diagonal here. Again, your answer being 81. You can put 81.0, but 81 is the same.